Her name was Eleanor. At one time, she had a home filled with the wonderful chaos of family dinners. Laughter echoed in the halls. Music was a constant companion. But then, a relentless illness came and took her savings, piece by piece. Her pride, a fortress built over a lifetime, kept her silent about her struggles, and time, as it so often does, erased the rest. One bitter winter night, the reality of her situation became undeniable. She had nothing left. No shelter to shield her from the biting wind, no strength to take another step, and worst of all, no hope to cling to. She found a small alcove, sheltered from the worst of the wind, and slumped down. Her breathing was shallow, a faint mist in the frigid air. Her body, frail and weak, was giving up. She felt a profound coldness that had nothing to do with the temperature. It was the cold of absolute loneliness. In that moment of utter despair, she closed her eyes and whispered a final, desperate plea into the darkness. Archangel Michael of the divine light, if I still matter, if my life has any meaning left at all, please, send help. As the words left her lips, something strange happened. The howling wind grew still. It wasn't a dramatic, cinematic silence. It was just still. A sudden, profound quiet settled over the street, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Across town, a paramedic named David was just finishing his long, grueling shift. He was tired, ready for the comfort of his own warm bed. He packed up his gear, said goodnight to his colleagues, and started his car. But as he pulled out of the station, a sudden, unexplainable restlessness washed over him. He couldn't shake it. It was a feeling deep in his gut, a nagging insistence that he wasn't done for the night. And then he heard something. Not with his ears, but in his spirit. A clear, quiet voice that said, "Turn back." He almost ignored it. It made no sense. His shift was over. He was exhausted. It was probably just his mind playing tricks on him. But the feeling was too strong to dismiss. He sighed, shook his head at his own irrationality, and turned the steering wheel. He decided to drive just one extra block to patrol a side street he normally wouldn't take on his way home. And that's when he saw her. A small, huddled figure in the shadows of a doorway. Eleanor. She was barely conscious, her skin dangerously pale. David's training kicked in instantly. He grabbed his medical bag and rushed to her side. He checked her vitals, his heart sinking at how weak they were. He worked quickly, speaking to her in a calm, reassuring voice as he wrapped her in thermal blankets, trying to fight back the hypothermia that was claiming her. As he worked, a soft, golden dawn began to break over the city skyline. The first rays of sunlight painted the tops of the buildings in hues of orange and pink. Eleanor's eyelids fluttered open. Her vision was blurry, but she could see the paramedic leaning over her, his face etched with concern. And for just a second, just a fleeting moment, she saw something else. Behind him, she saw a light. It wasn't a blinding heavenly glare from a movie. It was a protective, strong, and steady glow. A presence. She didn't see wings or a celestial being, but she felt it. She felt a power and a peace that went beyond all understanding. She knew she was safe. Days later, Eleanor recovered in a warm, clean hospital bed. The doctors were amazed. They came to her room, shaking their heads in disbelief. One of them said, "You are incredibly lucky, Eleanor. Another hour out there in that cold, and it would have been too late." Eleanor just smiled softly to herself. She knew it wasn't luck. She knew what had happened on that cold, dark street. When she had absolutely no strength left, when she had given up all hope, heaven moved. Archangel Michael didn't descend from the sky with a flaming sword and a choir of angels. That's not how it works most of the time. He moved a man's heart. He whispered into the spirit of a tired paramedic and simply said, "Turn back." And sometimes, that is the most powerful miracle of all. That is how angels fight for you. Not with grand celestial displays, but by nudging the hearts of ordinary people to do extraordinary things. They work through the kindness of strangers, The sudden, inexplicable urges to help, the quiet whispers in our souls that guide us to be in the right place at the right time. It's a reminder that we are all potential instruments of a higher purpose. The paramedic, David, didn't know he was on a divine mission. He just thought he was following a strange hunch. But that simple act of obedience, of listening to that inner voice, saved a life. It was a testament to the idea that faith isn't always about seeing. It's about trusting the unseen forces that guide and protect us. Eleanor's story is not just about survival. It's about the profound connection between the physical and the spiritual. It's about how a moment of pure, desperate faith can ripple across the fabric of reality and manifest in the most tangible, life-saving ways. Her prayer wasn't a magic spell. It was an opening, an admission of vulnerability that allowed a higher power to intervene. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. In our own moments of darkness, when we feel lost, alone, and without strength, we are never truly abandoned. Help can come in the most unexpected forms. A phone call from a friend at just the right moment, an article that speaks directly to our situation, or a stranger who shows us a small act of kindness. These are not coincidences. They are the subtle workings of a protective presence, the touch of an angel's wing in our everyday lives. Think about it. How many times have you felt a sudden urge to call someone, only to find out they desperately needed to talk? How many times has a wrong turn led you exactly where you needed to be? These are the moments where heaven moves, where angels are at work, fighting for us in ways we may not even recognize at the time. Eleanor's life was changed that night, not just because she was saved, but because she was shown, in no uncertain terms, that she mattered. Her whisper in the dark was heard. Her life had value, and that knowledge gave her a new kind of strength. A resilience that had nothing to do with physical health or financial security. It was the strength that comes from knowing you are watched over, you are cared for, and you are loved. So the next time you feel that unexplainable nudge, that quiet whisper in your spirit, don't ignore it. It might be your chance to be an angel for someone else. And the next time you feel you're at the end of your rope, remember Eleanor. Whisper your own prayer. Open your heart to the possibility of a miracle, not in the form of fire from the sky, but in the gentle turning of a human heart. If you believe that Archangel Michael of the Divine Light still protects the vulnerable and works through the hearts of good people, let us know in the comments by writing, "Michael still fights." And please, share this video with someone who might be feeling lost or alone today. Let them know they are not forgotten and that help can come when they least expect it. Thank you for listening. And may you always feel that protective presence in your own life. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of hope and inspiration.